Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Team Nerd Herd podcast, where you know how it goes. If you want to do it right, collect what you like. But Monday FANime, we back, baby. We back. After kind of 3-week hiatus, you guys. So my apologies for that, but we're back here. You know what I'm saying? So it's your boy Eric, aka Eric the Phoenix, with my two brothers over here. We got Geek Driven Jeff over here joining us today, and of course we got my hermano Steve, aka Hip Hop Simi. So what's happening, you guys? How you guys doing?
Jeff, hit him with it, bro. Tell us about your weekend first. Set it off.
Well, if you guys haven't noticed, it's a brother from another mother. So
that's right, man. Yeah.
But still brothers.
That's right.
No, it's good. Raced home to get here. I definitely wanted to talk about this movie. And I wanted to hang out with the Hermanos.
That's right, man.
Yeah, man. And we're glad to have you, brother. Anytime's a good time.
I know. It's always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure having fam up in here, Yes, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad you were, able to join us, Jeff, especially, for this movie, because, I know if you don't necessarily know the movie, it is it's a very serious movie, a serious topic. So don't let the smooth animation fool you. The story is very enriched and, tear jerking, man. It really does tug at your heartstrings, and it hits a lot of sensitive points for many individuals. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and holler at the nerd chat. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say my name ain't Skip, but damn, dude, my name's.
That's my bad, dog. I thought
he's like that. He's like, that's my cue.
I just got eager. You know what I'm saying? I got eager. That's my bad. Yeah. But Steve, how you doing, man?
He was used to only dealing with one other person, and I messed up the rotation. That's all. My bad.
Yeah, I felt like Dave Chappelle skit, dude, where you just put your hand in the face.
The stiff arm. Nah, that's not even that does.
I was like, I'm only 4 years older than you. Like,
he opened the door for me and slammed it in your face.
That's exactly how it felt. Dang. Hey man, this ain't Mondo mail call. I don't go last.
Fool. I know that's my bad, dog. That's my bad,
we're gonna talk about that in Spanish.
I know, dude. I'm gonna get it afterwards, y'all.
That's good. It's all good, dude. Just joking. It's your boy Steve, aka Hip Hop Simi _comics _ collectibles. Happy to be back on a Monday. Sorry for the long hiatus, guys. Yes. We had some schedule changes and aka adult life happening. So without further ado, man, let's go ahead and give it to these people because they're already here. They're like the Four Horsemen. Their song came in, dude. WCW, dude. You know that song, that harsh song of like winners.
Oh yeah,
the Four Horsemen faction. They're jumping in action, man.
They're up
Brother
in the
number one. Brother number one got that popcorn margarita machine going on a Monday. I call it like minimal Monday on a work Monday. You get the minimal
margarita Monday.
Yeah, my brother Rudy, pillar to the community. You'll see him in all the chats, man. He's the lucha leader of this bunch. And then you got brother number two, Something Wong. You already know Something White's what's gonna happen when he's around. He's executive producer of this Geek Factor Live faction, man. And he's also a pillar, dude. Always a great supporter. Something Wrong, always something right, my brother. Good to see you. And then Anime, etc. Brother number 3, Senpai. You got to give him the highest of senpais, man. He's legendary sonin in these parts, man. He's an anime lover, man. Anime connoisseur, I like to call him, man. Because if I have a question about something, for damn sure, either something or the anime are going to give it to you. They're going to be like, here you go.
They got that knowledge.
Knowledge is power, baby. You know what I mean? And then all the way from the other side of the pond, Glenn Obi, one with the Horseman Flatulence, Glenn 2K12, our brother. What's going on? He's coming in crystal clear 4K, and he's a DC lover, man. He just showed me some books earlier this morning, man. Art Germ, Chef Kisses, man. You already know my man's chasing. He's chasing. He got the thing for those covers. Maybe he's a cover lover. You never know, right?
Hey, that's right, man.
Boom, you got
go with the beats.
Tantalizing. Even, moving to the left and the right, man. DJ Beats by Munster, man. Those luscious beats that are playing on the outros, intros, man. You know it. It's here. So, bam. Shout outs to our brother. And then let's go ahead and swan dive to the herd chat, man. So let's go ahead and get it. Let's get it. Let's go ahead and call him out, man. Right there, first and foremost, he said, "Let's get down."
That's
He's
right.
like,
First
"Let's
in
talk
line,
about
the anime,
etc." Man,
What's
he's
up,
like,
baby?
"Oh, anime?" He's like, "Let me just be in there." And then silence.
There we go.
The
Wow.
silent points. It's something Wong, man. Something
Mhm.
Wong. He said such loud noises. Bankruptcy. Make a deposit, dude. Insert the card. Oh, dude, all up and down that butt crack if you think about it. And then you got brother
Ka-ching.
Rudy. Brother Rudy's in the
Rude.
building. He's already getting it, man. He's our root hashtag root for life.
Mhm.
All right, man. And then you got Glenn Obi. Bam. Glenn Obi 12.
Man himself.
All right. Look at he's wet.
Wait, how the hell you all get every fucking 4 horsemen in your damn show every time?
Because they're the 4 horsemen and they do what the hell they want. They're WCW legends up in these parts, man. I don't ask them. I just
we get lucky that way.
They just pull out the red carpet for y'all anime.
No, dude, they're always up in. They're always up in. They show their support. As our man Cody Prime right here. What's up, baby?
Man, model kit making
Station.
Dude. Masterpiece fashion station.
Yeah,
and look at this. He said, "What the F is Jeff doing here?" Whoa. You know, like,
yo, wow,
and that's why I was talking shit on them.
Damn,
we got Lord Chucks. What's up, Lord Chucks, man? Good to see you.
I got the vapors. Lord Chucks over at the BLTC. What's going on, brother? What's going on? ¿Qué te pasa, chico? And then you got L. You got our girl L over at the house.
What's up, L?
Hi, L. Dude, L, if you guys missed a rewind, I got to talk to my girl L about that Texas blood. You know what I mean? You know, we got to get after that.
That's
the book right now, huh? That's the book.
I love that book, dude. I love that book. And they're hype about it. This Sunday, dude, they're going to get the creators. So
nice.
You know what I mean?
Beautiful things.
Nice. It's a beautiful thing. You look at this.
Dude.
Man, we got Alonzo all up in it. In it to win it,
sir.
What's going on, Cyclops? What's going on, my brother? Hope your weekend was great as well. I also hope that Jeff's weekend was great too. You know, I love Jeff. You guys, you know, Pinja, what's going
girl?
on? Yeah, they're like, dude, I don't know if they're like, is he supposed to be here? No,
whenever he wants, you know, whenever he
he's
wants.
the brethren, and then HK.
That's right.
Sheena.
I mean, I think I get a pass. I got the chinky eyes, right?
Oh man,
I'm just saying.
I mean,
hey, you're sporting the hat, dude. You're sporting the herd hat, dude. You're always up in here, dude.
Yeah, you
always
represent.
Welcome. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, man. All the girls are up in here. Copy 801.
Yo,
what's going on, my brother Rob?
Copy. What's happening, man?
MegaCon, the lights, man. He was out there, brother, with the community.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think Jeff is an international player. Then you got low grades for life. J2 Ramirez, man. J. Ramirez. What's going on, brother? You already know, man. That guy's luscious voice on a Friday night, man. He makes
pickles
you do things,
and cream pies,
good things and bad things at the same time. You know what I mean?
You know, dude. Hitting us with that hot sauce
brother.
On Friday, man.
Ooh, dude.
Great show on Friday.
Those tamales, dude. Those tamales and Banger Boulevards.
Oh yeah, dude.
Pickles, get your cream pies. All right, man. With that being said, man, I think we are all caught up. Much love to the chat. We'll catch you as we go along because, like Eric said, a silent voice. This was recommended from Something Wong. Oh, let me go ahead and get it right now.
Right.
Let's go ahead and girl.
What's up, Anika?
Anika is in the building. And she said, yes. I said, this is how I read it. Yes. One of my favorite anime movies. She goes, you better not mess this up.
I know, dude. I know. There's a lot to unpack in this. So we're going to have to, like give it all we can, especially since we got our, cover lovers coming up after this, so don't want to run into that. But you guys, we're just going to go ahead and
I'm here. So you can run into it.
Just throwing his weight. He's just like, man, we waiting.
I'm about to get a text from Alonzo. Be like, hell no.
I know.
I got something to say. He says.
Cut him, yo. Yeah. But yeah, you guys. So this was a movie created back in 2016. And so it's out on Netflix, you guys. So definitely give it a watch. Just be sure to have a tissue box and to have some time to reflect on this flick, you guys, because this is definitely one movie that enters our world, real subjects going on, And so, we're just going to get into the main character. Our main character starts out, as a chibi guy, young man, elementary school boy by the name of Soya. And Soya is, just kind of like the ringleader of his like other two friends. We got this other, husky kid with a mullet and another, blonde-haired kid. And, at first you think that they're just kind of just kids being kids, but lo and behold, they do get a new student inside of their classroom. And this student is deaf. And so, she's just basically communing by sign language. And so our new student that comes in is Shoko. And Shoko, she is a very pleasant girl, you guys. I mean, she just is trying her best to make friends. It's, we've all been there, you know what I'm saying? Like going into schools, getting out of school, going into a new one, you guys. And so, yeah.
I think we missed one important thing at the very beginning, though. This is elementary school first.
Correct. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah. I think it's very important to start there, just because it's context,
Yes. Very, very, very much agreed, Jeff. Thank you for catching that, man. So yeah, so we got elementary school age kids, and so we've all, most of us in the chat, we're all adults here, you know what I'm saying? So we all know just how, young kids can be, you know what I'm saying? They're very honest, very blunt, and sometimes their filter is just not there, you guys. So the fact of the matter is that Soya is just so happens he's just the kind of the bully inside the classroom, you guys. And so he starts yeah he starts doing Soya the Destroyer. Yeah, pretty much, man, pretty much, Rune. And he is basically destroying the school days of poor little Shoya's elementary school days. He's just making sounds at her, trying to yell at her. He sits behind her desk, and there's quite a few other students that are just kind of like bystanding and just like kind of like watching, and others that are kind of partaking into it. So just because you're not necessarily participating directly, if you're not really saying anything or doing anything to kind of help, somebody else in need, you're kind of just, unintentionally kind of participating in it itself. And so we got a couple of characters that are doing that, which will kind of come into context later on, but they're still in the picture as of now. And so we got Naoka, I'm sorry. And Naoka is kind of like the popular-esque chick, and she's running around with this little girl named Mickey, who's kind of plays the victim within this whole bullying, like if the teacher is asking, like, who's been bothering Shoya, nobody really speaks up. If she does, if the conversation gets directed her way, she just kind of plays the victim, you guys. And so like just one of the, I guess, to start it off, as far as like having the first real shock for our victim, Shoya, is that she has hearing aids, to kind of help her hear. And so she, up until then, she's just been carrying around a notebook to kind of make friends. And so she's doing the best that she can to make others feel comfortable with her, instead of, kind of the other way around. And so no one is really, at first they're doing, what they can. And then after a while, it just gets old, and she's getting hit from every which direction, you guys, from the guys and the girls, and so each time, like she gets hearing aids, you guys, this is pretty bad. Soya, our main character, he just keeps taking them out, and throws them in the pond. And, like these things, hearing aids are expensive, you guys, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that he's, just not even thinking about his actions and how it's affecting Shoya's, life is just, very careless, just like a regular, like what an elementary school kid would do. And he does so another time so hard, in fact, that her actual eardrums start to bleed. And I don't know about you guys, Steve, Jeff, but for me, seeing just that scene right there just kind of like made my heart really sink. And just like I was on the verge of tears, like no lie. I was literally, had the waterworks kind of going, and I just really felt for her, you know what I'm saying? So like, is there, like, seeing how we get to this scene and then kind of going on to the next arc of this movie, like how did any of those scenes, you know, like as they're taking place, how did those impact you guys watching it for the first time?
Man, you know, like I guess we should have a disclaimer that like like
We're
you
we're
gotta
gonna
be
get really deep right now.
yeah you gotta you got to be ready to be able to watch this. And also it's very reminiscent, like it's for a parent, you know, if you have kids. So be
Yeah.
prepared, because
Mhm.
if you have kids, if they're around that age, you tend to worry about your kids in general, period. But just it's a human thing that you're
Mhm.
watching. You know, this movie's like, you know, like it hits home. You know, for some people, they could have been bullied at one point in time. For others, maybe not, but it involves humanity, and I
Yeah.
just gotta like speak on that for one. And the other thing is kids could be cruel, man. I mean,
Oh yeah.
some of these scenes that we're going through were just they were just heartbreaking, because you just think about it, you're like, wow, what would, like, that's gotten to a point to like overly a point to
Yeah.
overly harassment. And
Every comment was over the line, bro. Like way over the line.
yeah, man, it was just so horrible, dude. It was
Mhm.
heartbreaking to see that part. I think I just felt like, God, you guys just leave her the fuck alone, man.
Yeah.
Like first, let me say, fuck Noka. You know, let me just get that out the way.
Yeah.
And that
Nyoka.
movie, she
Yeah.
done pissed me off so many times, man. I was like, yo, I wish I could sidekick the shit out of you. Like, I was like, dude,
I
you
was like,
are,
I wish I was a woman because I want to hit her so bad.
hell yeah, man. Jeff,
Yeah.
will talk to us about what you were thinking, man.
Yeah. Hit us with it, baby.
So, like first you have to understand, like Shoya has a notebook. It's like a black and, you know, like a normal notebook that's empty, just has, you know, lines in it on the paper. She was using it to communicate because in elementary, you don't expect all the elementary kids to understand how to use sign language
Yep.
or even know how to really communicate other than, you know, this one way.
Yeah.
So that's how she was trying to use it to communicate with others. She would ask, she literally had a prepared statement on her notebook, and she's flipping through it, asking them, you know, if they could use her notebook to communicate with her.
Mhm.
And at first, people were doing it. You know, everyone's like, oh, very nice at first. And then people get jealous of the attention, or you know, just don't appreciate that someone's in a position that's lesser than you.
Mhm.
And so they start ignoring her, they start pushing the book away. Oh, I don't want to write in it. That's okay, that's fine, I don't want to communicate with you.
Mhm.
So in other words, they just want to be friends with her. And because she's weird, she's different, um and that speaks to everybody, right? Like if you've
Yep.
ever been bullied or ostracized within your class, you know that's the feeling of, you know, I guess being pushed away.
Yeah.
And kids don't understand how they're really making you feel, even though they kind of do, you know, but they don't understand the repercussions after the fact, so they're
Yeah.
just doing it for the moment.
Mhm.
And it's very heartbreaking. There's so many emotions when that happens, you know, like when her ear started bleeding, because
Yeah.
first you're right, your heart sinks, but then you cringe too for the guy, because he was taking this teasing and he just went way too far.
Yeah. Definitely stepped
uh,
over the line with that.
right. And now he scarred her. Like the other stuff, maybe she can get past, right? The little teasing or like the pushing away,
Mhm.
maybe she could break through and get past it. But the fact that he like bodily injured her, and you know, she's bleeding, and now everyone's looking at her, and now she's the center of attention that she probably doesn't want to be.
Yeah.
Right, because she already
Yeah.
probably feels different or enough,
Mhm. Yeah.
and not even probably even feels not good enough as a person, because she's not whole in the sense of she can't hear like everyone else.
Right.
So it's that whole feeling of all of that, like it's just really um shitty.
Yeah. No
I
other way to
can't
put
put
Sum
it.
it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a better word, just because it's just you you think you're having a bad day today, be that little girl, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It just kept getting worse, man. It just kept
Yeah.
getting worse for her and worse for her. And like at that age, you're just like, kids are impressionable, right? Like what they do in elementary school on to further at and going into junior high, that's social skills that they got to develop, because in adulthood it becomes harder, because then you're getting a job, you have to interact with people, and if you don't understand social cues, or you've been tormented in your childhood, it just kind of makes it hard for you to kind of work around those things. You, like Jeff was saying, you can break through that for sure. You just have to continue to understand that there are going to be good people in life, there are going to be bad people in life, but it's hard at that age. I just felt like
No,
my
I
heart
don't
my
think.
heart
I think at
crushed.
any age, it doesn't matter how old or wise or how much you've been through or how many times you've been teasing your whole entire life.
Sure.
Like, I still think it affects people in some way, even if you don't let people know that, right? Like, because
it's true.
It's always going to be in the back of your mind.
Well, and just like kind of like taking off of what you guys are saying, like how it affects you, like there's a perfect example within the movie where Shoko does start to make a friend who's interested, who knows some sign language, and because this character, Miyoko, I believe her name is, she's starting to get a little bit bullied herself or made fun of because she's trying to make friends with Shoko, and it causes her to go to another school, so she kind of flees away from the problem, from like her own issue, but in a way, like she's not really thinking Shoko, like, oh, I'm going to leave my friend behind. She's, thinking of herself. And, realistically at that age, like you're, yeah, it is understandable, and to a certain degree, like how you both were saying, as an adult, sometimes that's just the case, you fight or flight, like that you figure out what you need to do. And so a lot of all these characters that we're naming, you guys, are all gonna, like, they're all coming back into, to the storyline at some point. And so, as repercussions for what Shoya has been doing to Shoko, he gets reprimanded from the school. His teacher, pulls his card and tells his mom, and, like she kind of lays into him, and, like they go to Shoko's house and do an apology, the mother does, for her son, but Shoya still, he like doesn't really quite understand. Like you could tell he's just like, I feel bad, but like, like I don't in a way too, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Archie? And so, as the story kind of progresses, before we get into this time skip, we see that Shoko, she transfers schools, and now Shoya is basically now the center of attention, but not in a good way. He's starting to get bullied himself by his friends, that basically he was the ringleader with, and so now he's the one that's getting it tenfold. And it's tough, like living that kind of life, especially in elementary school, when those are supposed to be like the more carefree years. It's not the case for him now, and so we do go into this time skip, and so this is where I feel also where it just continues to get even more real, you guys, because he's now he's thinking about certain things, planning certain things, you guys. And so if you guys understand where I'm getting at, is that he really does start to feel the guilt heavily weighed upon him, just from having the reputation that he has, but you at the same time, you still can see where there is maybe some reflection that he's doing upon himself within these years that he's been growing up, but he is basically planning on taking his own life, because he's figuring that for all the wrong that he's done, for what he's been taking in, it's just something that it feels the need to do. So he sells what he needs to sell, pays his mom back for stuff, and marks his calendar off, and the mother catches wind of this, and she knocks some sense into him like a good parent would. And so, he basically is finding, more reason to live. And so now he's an outcast. Nobody really talks to him going on now. And with this time skip, he's in high school, so now this is just a big, long reputation of just him, just kind of being who he is. However, we do start to see a little bit of a change because we do see that an incident where somebody else, like somebody that is just very defenseless, but it does have a voice, and it grows. This character grows to be his best friend, Tomo, I think his name is, and Tomo, he's getting
Tomohiro.
Yeah, Tomohiro. Tomohiro is getting, bullied and punked for his bike by kind of like an upperclassman, if you will. And so Shoya kind of puts himself in place of him and says, "Hey, here, you could borrow my bike," and basically, knows that his bike's going to get jacked, and it did, But because of that, he ended up making a friend out of it, However, this is not something that he's used to because, mind you, he's been living a life of seclusion, I guess you could say, from after his elementary school years up until now. So making friends and stuff is now very foreign to him because he doesn't really just feels that he deserves or that he really knows how to. And so this friend is basically now his ride or die. Could be a little much, he's very very upfront, he's just the kind of homie that you definitely want, you know what I'm saying?
So Archie, this is for mature audiences.
Oh yes.
It's a drama, definitely deals with suicide, so we definitely want to throw that out there.
And
bullying, suicide.
Bullying. But you know what? I think one thing's for sure, like when they're making animes, man, and they can highlight something like of this nature, I feel like there's an important message in watching this. So like if you're an anime fan and you're in specific types of anime, definitely branch out and get into this movie because it's important. It's
very relevant. It's relevant.
Speaks to human language. It speaks to human language.
Yes, it's relevant to a lot of things going on now.
And how we should all treat each other as well, man. Because as you're witnessing all this, like kind of like unwrap, man, it's heartbreaking, dude. That one part where he's gonna commit suicide, the mother's talking to him, she's kind of knocking some sense into him. He he gets a sense of atonement too, and trying to make amends. He's learning how to sign language. He wants to eventually meet up with her and make amends. But in the fold, you're also seeing a lot of these kids come back into the fray from high school. They're kind of meeting each other, and he's getting better. I mean, like when you look at it, you're like, like despite of what he did as a kid, and that's him being a kid, right? The things you, like in life, you'll go through so many transformations. Some people will ostracize you for how you were versus who you are now. Everybody has an opinion, and I think at the very end of your age, as you get older, you realize perception of who you are should only be for yourself, right? And the closer people that you are, it doesn't matter any Tom, Dick, and Harry or Jane or Karen, whoever the hell you meet doesn't really know you unless they've spent years with you and getting to know you. So I feel like during this time where let's go ahead and say what up to Chef R.D. Harris, man, making them nom noms, dude. He's making them nom noms, and I'm over here salivating and stuff man. But yeah, dude, during this, like these stages where he's kind of befriended by Yohiro, man, that's also a good thing because you kind of see the goodness in his heart. You see the influence and everything like that. And as he's meeting these other kids in the fray and befriending them, dude, he gets stopped, like he gets face masked by old girl Shoyo's sister, dude, who thinks that it's his boyfriend, man. Jeff, like, I don't mean to kind of press forward, but like, what were you thinking during all these scenes where?
Well, I think first of all, like this movie is literally about, like, when you think of bullying, you think of the victim and the bullier, right? The bully, right? The bully and the victim. That's what you think about. But in this movie, you get to see all the actors involved in a bullying situation and everyone's involvement, there are not just the bully and the victim. There's always, circumstances where there's other people surrounding it. Teachers know, parents know how everybody feels about their role in it.
Yeah.
And
the eyes around.
The deniability of some people, or the ignorance of others, or it's a really sad thing, because when you really think about who it all affects and who created this situation, it's not just the two people involved.
Yeah.
It is definitely more than that. And it's a good to see, because you understand how people get bullied and why they're bullied, and in the sense of like I think it's also important to know that when he made her ears bleed, that's when she moved to another school. Her mom moved her to another school. She had to move. The bullying was way too much. It got to a point where she's now in harm's way, and it was costing them a ton of money.
Oh yeah.
And so and the girl who supposedly was supposed to, be her friend, she moved even before her, I think.
Yeah, she skated before.
She couldn't take the abuse, and like thinking about how much the other girl took then.
Yeah, she couldn't stand tall by like it became the numbers game in that sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most hardest thing, because if you're one person dealing with, like, I mean, in this movie, it's a lot of people, guys. I mean, you got to be ready for it. Even if you're a tough person, like I would say emotionally, like you hold yourself down emotionally and you're okay, this will probably get to you, because when you look at it like a section of kids and it involving kids, dude, it's heartbreaking, dude, because we were once them at that point in time. But also, like, if you're an uncle or you're a parent, this hits like right up your alley. Or just in general, man, if you've ever been someone to defend someone that was getting bullied, you know how it feels. So you're just like, not on my watch. Sorry, Jeff. What were you gonna say?
No, it's okay. No, I mean, this movie is probably as personal as it gets.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. I'm sure I'm not the only person in this world who has had to deal with this, but I know numerous people in my life who have attempted suicide.
Right.
I know numerous people who have succeeded. So I have personal stories that are like I've never told people about.
Sure.
And they're really rough stories. Like they'll cut you deep. And it's very hard to talk about them, because I don't want to burden other people with that sadness.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, maybe I'll talk about one, but I think we should probably get through all of this anyways first. But just in the sense of what's his name? Is it who's the guy again?
Shoya?
Shoya. Yeah. No, that's the girl, right?
No, Shoko.
Oh, Shoko, that's right. Yeah. So Shoya, he grows up and he goes to high school and he has a part-time job. He owes his mom money. Does all the things to get ready to take his own life. He literally has marked this day in his calendar, and there's no other days after it. He gets lucky because for some reason, there are a lot of things unexpected that happened in that moment when he was thinking about doing it. Like he's on the bridge. So it kind of wakes him up. And then his mom lets him have it. Now, I thought it was a little confusing for me, but that's probably just the time jumping and all of that. But
yeah,
I felt like she was actually a day late, right, in trying to save him, because he was going to do it like the day before or earlier that day.
So from what I gathered, it seemed to me like that was like the thought, like him envisioning where, you know what I mean, of how it was. and then the day of came, and so that's what happened. I mean, that was my interpretation of it. I could be wrong, but yeah, that was
no. That you could be right. Yeah, no. I didn't think about it that way. And no, I'm glad you said that, because I was like, I'm really confused. But yeah, but it's very powerful that if he was thinking about that the whole way through, right? That means it's been a thought in his mind for a long time. It's because he felt guilty of what he did in elementary school, and the fallout from that, because of all the other people surrounding that situation were all affected, right? Whether
butterfly effect.
He might have indirectly affected the way they see things, or I mean, the fact that so I need to talk about this really quick. I didn't like the fact that he got in trouble for the bullying, while everybody surrounding him was basically bullying her too.
Sure.
Whether they were chipping in, chiming in, laughing at her, pointing at her, gawking at her, whatever the case was, right? And that they got mad when he got caught in trouble for, making her bleed in her ear, right? That they went and bullied him after that. Like, I have no sympathy for those guys either. Because the fact is they just continue their bad behavior with another person, thinking that they were right, or trying to right a wrong, but they were still doing the same wrong. To right it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. What's up, Bobby?
So we gotta go back for comics are great. Comics on the edge. Comics
on the
Robert? Edge. Robert over at the low. Right? What's up, playa? And then
that rubbed me.
One last one, Jeff.
Wrong way.
What's happening, man?
Way.
But yeah, I mean, he felt guilty. He also feels like he has been a burden on other people's lives. He felt like that the world would be better without him, because he had caused so much pain already. Right. And that's where someone gets to when well, at least that's half of it. I'm sure there's other different thoughts of why you would commit suicide, but his guilt overweighed him.
Yes, I was gonna say, at this point he's just an island to himself, right? Like, and that's not where many of us want to be. You know what I mean? We're human. That's what we're here to do, is kind of interact with one another. I mean, just like what we're doing now, we're acting with each other, and many of you guys in the chat through the interweb, you know what I mean? So we need that engagement. And so unfortunately, like, that's just not the case for everybody, especially with Shoya and where he is now. But fortunate enough for him, like, you could tell that through this process, like, there is a certain amount of growth that he has that he's gone through. And so enough to actually make a friend. And so, like, this is now turning into somewhat of a redemption story, and he's trying to kind of redeem himself. And through these years, he's learned sign language, kind of making it a point to go back and find Shoko and do an apology, a sincere one. And when he's able to do that, he tracks her down to what school that she goes to, and he's trying to do so. But unfortunately, what he goes in, there is a character that we are introduced to, Yuzuru, who basically is saying, like, oh, that's my girlfriend, like she doesn't want to talk to you, you rat, blah, 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 And so she's basically defending Shoko. And, lo and behold, it's not her boyfriend, actually, even though this character, at first glance, you could maybe kind of tell, like, is that a boy? Is that a girl? It's actually a girl, and she's actually Shoko's younger sister. And so Yuzuru is very mature, very strong, very outspoken, and very artistic. She, does very beautiful photography. And so she is basically kind of playing the protective role for Shoko because of, obviously what, she's probably had to witness many times over, from her sister. And so, however, there is a time where, many little stepping stones for Shoya to basically have some further redemption. And you can tell where he's trying to go with this, going through the process of being a kinder, more thoughtful human being. And he actually helps Yuzuru out from her own case of kind of bullying, and she's inside of a schoolyard structure. He ends up, kind of helping her out, and so that's how he ends up finding out that they're actually siblings. And so, they're Shoko and Shoya are kind of reunited, and he does get his opportunity, and he's through like an outside perspective, I feel like you're seeing, at least this is the way how I felt. I'd love to hear what you guys' thoughts are on this as well, is that it seemed like it was very genuine, like all of his, good deeds, and what he's also, kind of befriending with his friend, and, kind of making steps to moving forward into a positive direction. But there was certain moments in there, like in the dialogue of where he's talking, his tone of voice, where it does feel like there was a little bit of like a wall of stifleness for him, where it kind of borderline felt that he was not really changing at all, and that this was just kind of a masquerade until something further. But that's just the way I felt. Did you guys feel the same at all during that process of him kind of going through a positive direction?
Yeah, I felt like when it got to a boiling point for him,
Yeah.
he shut down and he projected, right? I mean, and that's namely, like a person that like, and I can't say this like so broad, right? But
Yeah.
in my opinion, I feel like if you're not able to kind of cross that line and set that aside rather than kind of projecting,
Yeah.
you got a lot of growing up to do, because you got to be able to deal with different people in your life. And sometimes you're not going to be anybody's cup of tea. Sometimes you might have a lot of people on your side. But you got to learn how to get past that and get through the journey of that, right? You got to learn how to set those things aside, move forward, and befriend and love the people that are around you. I feel like,
Yeah.
and I feel like when push came to shove is when he kind of shut down and he kind of showed like he kind of degressed when he was like kind of talking to his friends later in the scene, like where he's going off on them and stuff. I mean, I felt like, because I feel like when you're trying to have a redemption, you can also have a relapse, right? I mean, it's a possibility that could happen, but I feel like the importance is, at the end of the day, what's your why? Like, why are you doing this? Are you doing this to atone? Are you doing this to make amends and be better and to just become a better person in general, right?
Yeah.
That would have, I mean, 100%. That's where the direction that you're looking at, you're like, yes, like this is gonna happen. And it's like this movie is just a emotional roller coaster, because you're thinking redemption and then something happens. You're thinking redemption, something happens.
Yeah.
Like, Jeff, what did you think, man?
I completely understand why the kids felt that he was not being what do you call it? He was not being legit with his feelings, and he wasn't being upfront. That it was just a show. And also, like, if you think about it, like 99% of an apology is a selfish, is actually selfish, right? Because you feel bad for somebody, and you feel bad, so you want to feel better by making that person feel better.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, so that's part of it. So I mean, they're not wrong, because he was being selfish, right?
Yeah.
In that sense. But you also have to understand that if you've ever been bullied and your bully comes up to you and says, "I'm sorry," after 10 years later, you're probably just gonna blow them off.
Yeah.
And not really care, even if they mean it or not. right? Because you're over it and you just could care less about them anyway. So you probably don't even think it's a legit. It's just for them to make them feel better after 10 years of guilt.
That
Right?
or like the other person on the receiving end could be a better person and be like in thought of thinking like, wow, they took this opportunity to go through their woes and come back.
Right.
I mean, because I think that takes a lot. I think it takes a lot of like balls for somebody to have done something wrong, identify it later down the line, and then come back to you.
But we see both points of views. We see a group of people who see it one way, and a person or two who see it the other way, right?
Yeah, no doubt, no
You're
doubt.
damn right,
And Lord Chucks
So,
for sure, and
You're damn right, more 100%.
Archie too, Archie.
So
too,
yeah, I mean, there's I definitely felt what you felt, like that they were, they thought that he was trying to redeem himself because out of guilt.
Yeah.
Whereas, yes, that's probably part of the process, but he is, I think he's lived a solitude life for so long. And I really like the way they portray the way he's alone, but among other people. And that he really feels bad because he's also been on the other side now. He's been bullied.
Yeah.
He's been ostracized. He's that guy that everybody knows in almost every school.
Yeah.
That he's the one that made that girl, her ears bleed and made her move to another school.
Yep.
He's that bully.
Yeah.
So that story follows you, and that you're just gonna be ostracized as much as as much bullying as you did to that other person, right?
Yeah.
So he definitely understands her plight now after probably a decade.
Yeah. No doubt. I'm sorry, Steve. What were you saying?
And those scenes of him kind of like atoning and trying, going every day to try and meet with her. Like, and the sister just straight dissing him, like, no.
Yeah, user.
But that's what you would expect as well.
100%, dude. I mean, I like in that kind of sense, like as a sibling, if anybody did something like that to a sibling of like for my brother, I would be like in their face in no time. I'd be like,
yeah,
like you're lucky, like the elbow or leg kick aren't coming next. But
I'm letting you walk away.
Yeah.
You can't come and like you will not pass go like Gandalf. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very, very good, well written.
Yeah, 100% for the multitude of characters that they have, and just going back to what you're saying, Jeff and Steve, about seeing it from the perspective of the outside eyes that are kind of indirectly involved, and some of them that are actually directly involved in this, bullying story. And there's a lot more, real life topics that kind of come into play here, where we're, looking at a person's, like who and what a person is, not necessarily seeing what academically, whether you're good at school, if you're a good person, and to have somebody, especially family members that you have a strong attachment to, kind of recognize that and empower you with those words of telling you who, like what kind of a person you are, even though you might get like, C's or D's or whatever, and this is true for Yuzuru, because Yuzuru, Shioko's sister, is not necessarily the best, in academics. And so you're seeing just a lot of different personalities kind of meshing in together along with this, the overall story of, bullying and suicide. And it does point out like the value of true friendship and, working together to, be there for one another, like it's very hard to do anything on your own. And when you need a helping hand, you know what I'm saying? Like you get by with a little help from your friends, you know what I'm saying? The Beatles just said it best, so, but the thing is, kind of continuing on, with skipping some, components of the story and seeing how, Shoya and Shoko are actually developing more of a friendship with one another. But it still doesn't take away from the fact of all the years of, bullying that Shoko had to take. And so she herself, kind of going on in the long run, is starting to see, that her being deaf is still kind of causing issues for herself and the people around her. When really that's not her, it's not her problem. You know what I mean? She is who she is. She was born the way that she was. And so she really does take a heavy load on her shoulders, and trying to carry it for the rest of them, which, if you're being bullied and feeling in that position, know that that's not how you should feel, and so it really does push her to the edge, so much so where the fact that she puts into action what Shoya wanted to do in the beginning of our story, or towards like the arc of the story, and so luckily, she decides to end it, and she's gonna, she does it kind of at the opportune time. So you could tell that she's also put some thought into this, where there's a festival, fireworks are going off, and so she's thinking, this is the time that I can do it, because loud noises will be, everybody's going to be over here. And so luckily we have Shoya, who's going to get Yuzuru's camera, and he ends up saving her life. And kind of to the point where, like, he also is putting himself in harm's way, and he does, take quite the tumble, but in saving Shoko's life. And so just kind of continuing that and seeing now where he's put in a fatal position, you start to see like more of the characters' personalities kind of come out more into play. Emotions are on high, and that's basically, what the emphasis of this story. It really does put your emotions into overdrive. You know what I mean? You go into all the different gears, and I really do feel that this film was very beautifully done. It's extremely relevant, I feel, not only through the time that we are living in now, but it's going to be continuing on as long as life is here, and so hopefully many people have an opportunity to watch it and don't turn a blind eye to the subject. That could be true. You know what I'm saying? That could be true.
So, sorry, not in Japan.
Yeah. But it's a good feeling, that's for sure. But just I again, like, this film was beautifully well done. Really was a hard watch, especially if you're just not used to these kind of topics, and obviously seen it even from an animated perspective. It's still, life is life, and when you're able to kind of connect that to aspects of your own life, like how Jeff said, people that he knew and he once knew, and like seeing it for yourself. I mean, it's
Zen,
just very, very, very hard watch, but extremely good. What's up, Zen? So yeah, I'm gonna. That's my thoughts on this, you guys. And so, like, I want to take it back to you guys, so that way we can, kind of end this on the note, you guys, because this was there's a lot of this. It's a lot to digest with this movie, and so so I strongly suggest you guys give it a watch.
You know what the hardest part about this was the fact that what pushed her to do that, like on the Ferris wheel scene, where the sister is recording, and you see Naoko, like, she just hasn't grown up, period, dude. Like, at all. Even through high school, she's just been this bitter old bitch. Like, pardon me, but it pissed me off, dude. That scene hurt my heart so bad, because she's being bullied and she's trying to apologize for it. She doesn't even like herself. That tore my soul, because it was just like, you should never feel uncomfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
And I'm telling this to, like, anybody out there, like, that's listening, like, you are important in your life. Like, so if you feel like you are not needed in someone's life, really sit down and think about it. If you're a sibling, if you're a child to a mother or father, a friend, understand that, like, there's going to be struggles. Just, you got to pick yourself up. That's what life is. It's an ongoing battle. You got to pick yourself up and you got to fight. for like these great times in life. As we go through hell, there is heaven there. Like you got great things that happen to you in life. Great things like this community. Ever giving friendship and stuff like that. I think that was the best part about this. But watching it, watching her, dude, like that scene, I was just like, oh no. And dude, I was like, dude, if you could freaking like, what's that movie of those bachelors, bachelorettes that like it's like one person's getting married, bridesmaids, dude. I was ugly crying, bro. I was in bed ugly crying. I was like texting Eric, like, damn you, Eric, but I love you, Eric. Like this movie was beautifully done, guys. And I'm all joking, like I'm not joking, like with my brothers, but like in all seriousness, this movie is a much needed movie to watch if you're an anime lover. I think it's good to kind of call you home. Like I think that the message is for you to reset yourself, like because the way you treat people in your everyday life, sometimes you kind of miss it, and you kind of just everyday life, right? You're just walking through, and you're not really like thinking life is important, treating others are important, as much as you can, because you never know, like a time can happen in the snap of a finger once you lose somebody. So and it's very important to love those people that are around you, that are important to you. So I mean, with that being said, I'm sorry, but Jeff, like, you got anything to add on that, man? I mean, I'm feeling the love right now, brother.
I don't know if I want to give away the ending, so I want people to actually watch this seriously. It is really good. It's really well drawn. It's well written.
That's right, Root.
The voice acting is great. So seriously, it's a good movie. It's very heartbreaking at some points. It's very hopeful at others. It is a very human telling story. Definitely it'll hit you in the feel. So if you can't handle these kind of stories, I understand not watching it, because it's hard for people to watch these kind of stories or listen to it. Understand this. I think I want to leave this message with everybody. If you ever feel like you're a burden to somebody and that they can't handle that burden to help you, you are wrong. I am living proof. I have been burdened with talking to somebody every day at night just to talk them down from killing themselves. Every night in high school. I wasn't even an adult yet. And I would think I was a freshman, actually. So yeah, I understand that burden. I was the last person, or one of the last people, to see this person a week before they killed themselves. So I wear that burden as well. I don't like that burden as much as the other burden, because I was able to talk the other person down every night. Luckily, I mean, I'm not the best person to probably talk somebody down, but I got lucky. And like, there are times when I just didn't see it, and it's a very heartbreaking. And I pride myself on being very empathetic. So I can sense when somebody has those feelings or had those thoughts.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't think that no one can understand. Might not understand your situation perfectly, but they can understand what you're going through. And so if you can't turn to a friend or anybody like that, a family, please call the national, suicide hotline.
Yeah.
Get help, talk to somebody. It's always better, because if you're able to talk to somebody before you do it, the chances are going down that you will do it. And the reason why I say don't do it is because you don't get a second chance after that. You don't get to change your mind. And the people around you are affected so harshly. They're going to be scarred forever. And if you thought you were a burden on Earth at that point, imagine being that burden after the fact. So, and it's forever. It's not it'll affect every generation after that probably too.
Yeah.
So life's not that hard. It sucks. Doesn't always easy, but people understand. And I think you should take a moment before you get to that point. Definitely. And I understand why all of these things were planned out. I've had those thoughts too. I've planned it out.
Yeah.
So I understand it. I understand that they've planned it out because they've had those thoughts for quite a long time. So if you've had those thoughts for a long time, don't plan it out yet. Talk to somebody. Just talk to somebody. And know that you're loved and the world is not as harsh as you think it is. Yeah. If your part of the world is harsh, there's other parts of the world. You know? Yeah. So make every effort to get the hell out of it. Because I did. I got out of my hell.
And we're glad that you did, baby. We're glad that you did, man.
Yeah, definitely talk to your loved ones, man. That's what I would say. I mean, this movie, like it you would think like live action or something like that. I mean, there's amazing like movies that are out there, but like anime, man, like I said, they can really, you know, like pull on your heartstrings, and this one definitely did, man. Yeah. But man, I mean, Eric, I know we got cover lovers coming up soon. So,
yeah,
I mean,
no.
You guys grab your tissues if you guys. No, man, Jeff, dude, like, mad love to you always. You know that,
for sure.
Brother. I mean, the Team Nerd Herd is always here for each other, man. We're a band of brothers, man. So like, when one of us is down, all of us are down. So you know, we try to be there for each other, just like in humane thing, man. You be there for your friends, be there for your family. Call a loved one that you haven't talked to. If you have had an argument before, man, and you're standing prideful, man, get that shit out of your head. You know, eat crow and apologize to that person, man, because you never know how much time you have in this life, and this is a lovely life to live. I mean, that's the main topic and main emphasis of living, right? You got to live your life. So, Eric, do you want to
amen
hit us with some knowledge, my brother?
Yes, well, you guys, I mean, I just basically repeat, you know, what both you and Jeff say. You know, I mean, thank goodness for this community, you know, and the group of friends that we're all, you know, have made along the way, and we are still continuing to make. So, you know, just continue to communicate, be a good person. You know what I mean? Be there for one another. So, you know, with that being said, you guys, like to thank all you guys for joining us again. But don't go nowhere, because right now we got cover lovers coming up, baby. So you know what I'm saying? FANime for life, anime for life, you guys. See you in a minute. Peace out, you guys. Love y'all.
Peace.
Much love.
Love y'all.